there, welcome to No Pants Profits. My name's Richard, still coming to you with no pants and hopefully plenty of profits. And I want to talk about something that, I'm not going to lie, it's 1:46 a.m. on August 25th, 2022. And, all day since there was a little bit of an announcement that was happening that T-Mobile and SpaceX are set to announce something special, I've been sitting and trying to figure out, okay, what is this something special that T-Mobile and SpaceX are going to announce? This is still probably about 20 hours before that announcement happens. It's happening at 8 p.m. Eastern time today, which is August 25th. And I want to prove what time it is because I think I've got it. So what time is it? Time in Texas. So in Texas, it's 12:47 a.m. on Thursday, August 25th. And here's what I think is going to happen. I think tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern time, believe it or not, T-Mobile is going to come out and say they are the first cell phone carrier that is going to cover the entire United States from coast to coast. No dead spots, no dead zones, no mysterious parts of Alaska or anything like that are not covered. They are going to cover the entirety of the United States. It's not something that's going to happen overnight, but T-Mobile is going to do it. And you might go, aren't they already the carrier with the best coverage? That's all subjective. But if you take a look at a coverage map, you'll see T-Mobile has pretty good coverage. But you'll see there's a lot of white spots here. And I don't even think they're going to go for the U.S. I think they're going to go for the entirety of North America. They're going to try and cover the entire continent of North America by getting in bed with SpaceX. And this is SpaceX. This is coming to you on SpaceX right now. I love SpaceX. I've had it for about 3 months. I've had the Starlink. I have Dishy McFlatface #2. But what I think is going to happen is they are going to cover all these white spots here, all over North America, are going to be covered by Starlink. And I think the question is, why and how, and I want to keep this video as short as possible. I think this all came when this happened. When the FCC rejected Starlink's bid for rural internet subsidies due to its $600 satellite dish. Now, I have the satellite dish. The new satellite dish doesn't look like that, but I've got it up on the roof right above me. And yeah, it's just a $600 satellite dish. And, the FCC was going to give Starlink a lot of money. The problem was that, when you got a $600 upfront fee and then $110 per month, and SpaceX is losing money on this. SpaceX this is subsidizing only half the cost of the dish. It takes 6 to 8 months, assuming, that there's no cost to running the service. It takes 6 to 8 months to even get your money back on the dish from SpaceX. So mine is still essentially SpaceX owns. But here's what's going to happen. In a joint press conference tomorrow evening, or this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern time, Starlink and Starlink/SpaceX/ whatever you want to call it, and T-Mobile are going to say that they are going to put these gateways all over the uncovered by current internet, by current rural broadband standards. They're going to have these gateways available, and they are going to have small femtocells, essentially, which are going to be linked in small areas that are going to use Starlink as a backbone. The reason that you don't have coverage in these places, especially like in Alaska and in the Yukon. I mean, if we're looking up here, I was on an Alaskan cruise recently. The reason you don't have coverage up in Alaska is because, number one, there's not the population to support it, but there's also not the infrastructure to support it. If you are going to build some towers to broadcast out internet so you can get it to these devices, not just phones, because remember, this is not all just about phones. A lot of people have, very kind of sketchy phone service. This is about having gateways that people can use at home to connect all their devices. You can't have a smartphone hotspot and use your connected garage door opener, your Hue lights, your other things like that, your SIRI, your ALEXA, your OKGOOGLE, your HEY Cortana. No one uses that one. You can't use any of those with just a cell phone hotspot of connectivity. So I think they're going to be putting Starlink dishes all over the uncovered parts of the US, linking them up with cell towers, and then providing these. And here's what's really cool. That is going to get that hardware cost down to zero, because T-Mobile charges $50 a month for this, and actually doesn't charge you for the actual unit. It's kind of cool. So this is a little unit you put inside of your house, and it gives all of your phones, your internet, your garage door opener, everything. It's going to bring a lot of people into the 21st century, and here's what it's going to do. It is going to open T-Mobile to a load of government subsidies. And you know what that means? That's money. That's nice revenue. That's predictable revenue that comes in every month. I love government subsidies. Now, I'm not one to not put my money where my mouth is. I think this is going to happen. It finally just came to me. I was sleeping, and I'm like, okay, this is what's going to happen. Since the announcement, I've been loading up, and I think T-Mobile's got a lot more to go up, because Starlink is not going to, SpaceX is not a publicly traded company, so it can't benefit from this as much. But, I have 103 shares of T-Mobile that I bought an average of 145.45 in one account, and then I've got 297 shares. So I've got over 55,000 in T-Mobile shares that are riding on this. Now, if it doesn't happen, if it's a big nothing burger, I don't think it's a big deal, unless the market has a weird day today, because I think T-Mobile is a solid, good company. This phone is T-Mobile. This phone is T-Mobile. These phones, let me find phones. I have a lot of phones. This phone is actually on Mint Mobile, which runs on the T-Mobile network here. So, essentially the idea is, and this is the Bobby Bonilla plan, if you know anything about it, this is going to be huge. It is going to take that coverage map that exists right now with all these white spaces, and the thing anywhere in the continental United States, and, maybe even the non-continental United States, no coverage is going to be a thing of the past. Now, a little bit further out is, you've got to reward those people that happen to live where I live, and, I live in rather populated areas. So how do you reward those people? I'm sitting as both a Starlink and a T-Mobile customer. So it would be incredibly awesome for us that have coverage if they were to make a bundle and include that. Because why I use Starlink, look, I used to use Comcast. They are actually putting in AT&T fiber right now, and I only choose to use Starlink. And why I choose to use my Starlink is because I know who's in control of my internet. Yes, I understand other people run Starlink's pipes. Yes, I understand even though I'm in South Florida, I'm always in Atlanta. Who knows why? I do know why. That's where the downlink is. But I choose to use Starlink because Starlink is not owned by any media company like AT&T, who owns media companies, Verizon, who owns media companies. I trust them with my data. Plus, I can take the dish and move it anywhere for $20 a month. I think this is going to be huge, and this T-Mobile deal is going to be epic. And I think what's going to happen is they're going to give a lot of people that are on, I'll throw another prediction. If you have the Starlink for RV plan, or you have your Starlink for mobile, where Starlink can't get good mobile coverage, they may have an adapter that you could put on and get T-Mobile coverage as well. I don't think this is a money-making opportunity for SpaceX. Let me see if I can find the adapter. There's a little adapter right here that I can actually plug in Ethernet. Imagine if you could plug a normal antenna right into this Starlink box right here. It would be awesome. So when you've got cloud cover, tree cover, a storm, it backhauls to T-Mobile. I think this is a great mutual partnership that is going to work most excellently for everyone. I love this. It's a prediction. I am pretty sure on this. I could be totally wrong, but I am going to probably be loading up on more T-Mobile shares tomorrow if I can get my hands on them, because I think this is going to be a gigantic step forward in connectivity for rural broadband. I will leave links to all of these things below, because you've got to read up on it. You've got to understand what's really going on, because if you've never been to Alaska, or you've never been to any of these states where broadband is a challenge, Idaho, Alaska, different parts of, even different parts of, I live in Florida, even different parts of Florida and the Everglades and stuff like that, having the ability to have cell coverage via a cell network that rebroadcasts via Starlink is phenomenal. I think it's unique. I think it's a great selling proposition, and I think it's going to make both of these companies a lot of money. And if you're invested in both of those companies, they're going to make a lot of money. You know what you're going to make as well? Well, hopefully, you're going to make a lot of money. This is Richard from No Pants Profits with a random early morning video saying that that event is going to be legend. Wait for it. Dairy. And when you wear no pants, all you got left to lose is your shirt. Drop some comments below if you got anything. See you around. Bye.